Kendo Podcast episode 137. In this episode, I want to talk about Think Out of Box. Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from KendoGuide.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through Patreon.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit KendoGuide.com for more Kendo information and how to support KendoGuide.com. Welcome to Kendo Podcast episode 137, right? And think out of the box. I don't know if we have to say the box or just a box, but over the weekend, Friday, Alex Bennett came to Indianapolis, and that was night time, and I went pick him up with Ron Fox sensei from MSU, Michigan State University. He got Alex Bennett here to the US, so I told Fox sensei that if you get him here, you make sure you bring him here to Indiana. He did. So thank you, Fox Sensei, and it was very well. I just saw him last month. That before that in Japan too. So I have been seeing him every month, I think, and I'm going to see him in January, about 1 month from now. So I'm going to see him again. Now, that was a great opportunity to, of course, talk to him always as a senpai, as a brother as well. So I always have a good time with him. Every time he comes, not only Kendo, but, like personal, personally, I really admire him. But anyway, so what I learned from the way he teaches, he always impress is not a good word, surprise me. He always surprises me that how he think. Of course, he has more experience. I don't know if our Kendo career years-wise, pretty much the same, I think. Maybe I have been doing Kendo a little longer. Considering he started his Kendo when he was 18 years old. And that is when I was 15, so I have already done. So maybe 8 years ahead, just number-wise, right? Ahead of him. But now he's 7th dan, you know him. But how you look at Kendo. We look at Kendo in the same way, but with his experience and with his, he does a lot of other things as well. And then probably his brother, Blake Bennett, he's a professor. I think it's Auckland University. I don't know the real name, but it's Auckland University in New Zealand. He has a degree. He has a degree in PhD. He's a PhD of sports coach. So probably that influences Alex as well. But, everyone has Fumikomi problem, right? Everyone has Fumikomi problem. I have a Fumikomi problem. Yeah. So, but most of the time, Kendo late starters, the problem is hand first, right? Your hands go before your body goes. I think it's because the one mentality, once you have a target in front of you, you want to hit, right? So your arms or your hands will take over your brain, because these are very useful, right? They can do a lot of things. So they try to do things before your brain thinks, So hands will control your brain, your body, and hands just go ahead and do it for you. But in Kendo, if you do that, it's not really a good thing. So important thing is that you deliver your body forward. Now, you have heard a lot of lot of stories like that, right? Or we have to do this, we have to do that. You have to deliver your body forward. You know what you have to do. I'm sure you do, right? But it doesn't mean you can perform it. Okay, I'm just checking who is on watching this, but I'm not too sure. Probably no one is watching it right now. If just don't want to ignore people if they're watching. Okay, so because it's live for the members at patreon.com/Kendo For Life, so I'm just don't want to ignore them. That's all. Okay, so I can't do two things at the same time, so I'm sorry about this thing. Okay, anyway, now basically, so your brain knows what you have supposed to do, but your body cannot perform it. Okay, and most of the time, okay, because of these hands, your brain is taken over by these hands. They want to do something before your brain actually wants to do different things, right? So it's always hard for a lot of late starters to do proper fumikomi, fumikiri, or whatever you name it. Proper is man, okay? Striking target at the same time of your we call stomping, but on the right foot forward, and then ki together, right? You gotta integrate those three Ki-Ken-Tai, integrate those three together, and then our followed by zanshin, of course. Our strike is completed, right? Considered complete strike. So a lot of people have this problem. Now I talked about it with him right before I went to his hotel, and we talked about it. And then he was going, okay, probably we can do something about it, right? Man, he did something about it. I have video, okay, so I will of course share it with you. I'm not too sure for the members at Patreon. I'm not sure as soon as I should edit or just upload it, so you can just start watching it. I'm not too sure what you want. So if you have any suggestion, please tell me. I mean, this is for Patreon at the moment because I'm on live. So if you've seen this, let me know, okay? And if for YouTube people, YouTube subscribers, or if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on the podcast, I'm sorry, this is what I do this before YouTube. I upload it into YouTube and podcast, so it might be a bit different, but if when YouTube subscribers hit 30,000, maybe I will share it with you. I'm not too sure, okay? But keep subscribing and let's make things happen. But anyway, so this method, one is the problem is basic is as you always. All of us we know that it's neat, right foot forward. Maybe you do it differently. So if you do it differently, don't worry about I know some people do it differently, so you don't have to tell me that, all right? And if you do it differently, that's fine, okay? But the way I do is hands above our head and right foot forward, and then strike man as strike man, and left foot comes forward at the same time as striking, right? So that is the basic movement. And then when you do small man strike, time. At the moment you strike, your right foot should be forward. This should be the same time. So that is the very hard for a lot of people to transform the basic into that applied technique. Okay, so that is the hardest part, and a lot of people have a problem with that. But we all know we can do it. But just because all psychological, those hands take over, and a lot of other things that we teach, the Kendo teaching, I believe, Kendo teaching, the way we teach is to students. Okay, so the Kendo teaching method is basically made for a lot of students, school kids. All right, so it doesn't really apply. A lot of things are still good, of course, but it's not to teach. The targets are different. Targets were students, which means younger, but the problem, those people who have problems with those things is adults. They are adults, right? So we have to come up with some methods to overcome that problem. And then I've been working on it. Now Alex Bennett stepped in, and this crossing sword method is not Nito, okay? It's just to practice how you should be using your sword. Keep your sword there, and at the last moment, you pass right, man. All right, that worked beautifully. All right, that worked beautifully too. So it's like something we are doing exactly the same. I told my students, keep your hands down there, right? And then the last moment before you strike, you'll strike. Okay, but that is the concept. That is the concept. But actually, I didn't provide the way. I didn't provide a actual way to practice that. And Alex provided that. Okay, that was great. So you should please, if your Patreon's coming up, if you're members at Patreon/Kendo For Life, you will see it very shortly. So make sure you watch that. And then also the other thing is 2 people, one in front of me, and of course one has to be a little shorter. All right, so I am the aim. Usually we say, okay, strike man, right? But sometimes you get too close, sometimes you can't do man strike like that, but you think you can. I mean, I always tell them you can strike from there, but it's psychological. All right, as soon as they can just strike with one step, right? One step without kicking the floor, they can do it. That means they can strike from that distance. But okay, then let's strike man. No, they can't. All right, it's something happens there. Okay, so we can say that's psychological. You have to overcome that. Easy to say, harder to do, right? So he came up with this: one person in front of you, one person motodachi. So 2 motodachis. I have a video for that as well. So the members of Patreon, it will be coming soon. One is higher, one is shorter. Okay, so if you're taller, you have to duck, right? So you are aiming at this person. Okay, so you go strike man here instead of here. But this is the actual target. But you always people say, "Oh, try to strike the person behind." Right, like tsuki too. When you strike, if you aim at this here, tsuki here, you tend to tap, ping, like that. But tsuki is you have to stab, right? Bang, tsuki, and then so you aim at someone behind here, behind the actual person. So you can go bang, and then pull out your sword. So that's the idea. So and I thought, man, this guy can come up with a lot of. That was 2 exercise. Maybe we had more, but just 2 distinctive. Clearly, I remember what So those 2 exercises. Now they have to transfer that experience into their Kendo. So that is they have to do. But the training actual method As an instructor, I thought I have to make them feel the right way, and I have to make them think or make them believe that they actually can do it. So that is the job of instructor, I believe. So that was an eye opening, and I'm hoping that I can come up with a lot of other stuff like that. But like so, if you are even if you're not instructor, you can come up with that kind of training method. Doesn't have to be from other martial arts. It can be from other sports. Okay, and then we can achieve kendo, what necessary in kendo, what those movements that are necessary in kendo, so we can do so. Okay, so I don't know how he came up with those methods, or if he came up with them, but if he saw them from somewhere, I don't know. But I've never seen such training methods before. So that was an eye opener. I think it works for you too. If nothing has been working for you, this might work for you. These might work for you. So thinking out of the box is really important. And you don't have to be like in kendo all the time. You can probably do something else and come back. Tenouchi video I just recently have I uploaded yet? Maybe soon. If not, maybe soon. I gave the example of basketball as well. So anything that very similar movements to kendo, you just bring it to kendo, okay, and then share it with others so you can achieve kendo movements. Of course, we don't do basketball at the dojo, but the idea of how we use body is probably just you can bring the idea to the dojo, right? Or you can if you think it helps, you can actually get a ball, basketball, whatever, do it. Might help. You never know. You never know what works, what doesn't. You can think, but if you don't do it, you never know. So you can really do it, I think. So thinking out of the box it's a movement, right? It's movement. It's okay. It's really okay to do so. All right, thinking out of the box to achieve the movements. And I thought, do those things up. I'm sure we'll be doing that. Whenever we see problem, let's do that again. Okay, let's get the feeling. We have to get the hang of it, get the right feeling. Let's do it. Okay, so I think it's very important. Sometimes we can be rigid kendo. We can just train like rigid kendo training, but sometimes you have to go away from kendo and just do something else and then come back, and maybe we can achieve that. Right, so try a lot of things. Don't worry about, don't be afraid of, oh, can I do this? And maybe it destroys my kendo. If it destroys your kendo, stop doing that. Okay, easy, simple. Okay, whatever you think kendo, this will help my kendo, do it. All right, and if it doesn't, stop it. Okay, so I think that's very, very important, and it's a very an eye-opening training was. So I will share that. Okay, definitely with the members at Patreon, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's going to be special for the YouTube subscribers, but please understand that it's not. Okay, so and his new book is released, translation of the Book of Five Rings. So if you haven't bought it, go ahead. That is another thing special. That is very special. He has already translated this document, which no one knew about the original document of Musashi. Okay, so he has already translated it, and it's in the book. Okay, so it's worth buying it. So please go ahead and buy it. Okay, thank you for watching. If you're watching, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And I'll see you in the next podcast. I would like to send special thanks to patrons for their constant support through patreons.com/Kendo For Life.